Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Trilogy for the Nintendo Switch.
Woohoo!
Brought to you by Capcom.
Yay!
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified when more Ace Attorney arrives every day at 3 p.m. on KwingsLetsPlays.
Oh, yeah.
So last time we had entered recess, but not the fun kind, and now we have to deal with the next witness. Alright, so recess is over. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Maggie Bird.
Bird!
Mr. Kudo, your next witness, please. The prosecution calls the lucky old-timer who caught the show over a cup of coffee. Will the witness please take the stand and stop touching their legs or arms or whatever, making weird noises in the background? Thank you very much.
I have restless leg syndrome!
I don't care! Name and occupation if you don't mind. Yeah, the name is Victor Kudo, born and bred in the land of the rising sun. And honor and duty are what make me mind you. I can't be quite emotional at times as well. We don't need to hear about that, Mr. Kudo. Just tell us the court, your occupation, and what you do. My occupation? Listen, youngin', how much you callin' you think there is for a kimono embroidery around here? Kimono embroidery?
Huh?
That's what I do, or I did back in Japan. I made kimonos. My ancestors were embroidering kimonos before this country even existed.
Wow.
I know.
Wow, a real craftsman. They're a dying breed, Nick. Hey, maybe he can embroider my costume sometime.
Anyway, like I said, there's not much demand for that kind of thing here. I've had to take a job working the cash register at a burger joint pretending to smile.
Wow, he actually makes an effort to smile?
That burger joint would have been better off putting him in the kitchen. Now then, witness, where were you at the restaurant at the time of the incident? Oh yes, I was eating some seeds over a cup of Javachito. Seeds?
He was eating them?
What do you think these are? I see. You saw everything that happened, Gramps. I did, yes. Yes I did, I saw it all. Then please, tell the court. We're all ears. Yeah, sure. I'll tell you every last detail. He's really getting into this? Oof.
Yep.
It's the K-Wing show, starring K-Wing and sometimes Amber.
Yay!
The young man was reading the sports paper. The serving girl brought him a Javachito, but she put something in it. The man took one sip, and then poof, no more.
Maybe she put sugar in it.
That's the serving girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. Okay. Oh, it's pretty airtight testimony. Mr. Kudo, she is not a serving girl. Please refer to her as a waitress. Actually, that's American. That's not in the original Japanese.
Wow, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, you're as bad as the rest of them. Yes, he is. All these newfangled words, what's wrong with old-fashioned ones? Nothing.
I agree.
Newfangled? All this talk of radios and glasses, it's wireless and spectacles, I tell you. Excuse me? Listen to me, everyone. Don't forget the old values. Don't let the good old days slip away.
Aren't they still called servers, though?
Yes, they are. Well, I think it's time to begin the cross-examination. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. American translation at work, Amber. 2019 American translation at work.
I have to say, I'm gonna be doing a pastry thing, and I'm supposed to butler the pastries.
But
like
I don't know what that
tomorrow.
means. The young man was reading the newspaper. Hold it.
I'm gonna be holding a tray like Alfred.
Oh, cool. So you saw the victim then, huh? Yeah, I wanted to know if Gutsen Braun retained his championship or not. So he was looking at the sports paper the victim was reading, huh? And at the location in question, there are partitions between tables on the side of the restaurant, right? Yeah, so what if there are? That's important. If you say that you could see the victim, that means you were sitting at a table on the other side of the restaurant, correct? Yeah! Yeah, I go to that place to drink Javachino. I don't go to sit. I don't remember which table I was sitting at. Oh.
But it's important.
You mean you go there to eye the waitresses? Yeah, the serving girl brought him a Javicino. Okay. Mr. Kudo, that is a very grave accusation. Are you sure what you saw?
Yeah.
Victor Kudo never makes mistakes. I do it every T and cross every I. Oh, a dot.
Wait, you mean you...
I see.
He meant dot every
I misread that. My eyesight's fine. The doctor said I only need spectacles for reading and driving.
No, he said it wrong.
Oh. Okay. I bet his eyes were only fine when he's scooping out a waitress. Scoping. And I saw what the serving girl put into the Javicino as well. I bet I know what's coming up, and something tells me I'm not gonna like it. Press harder. Your Honor, we need more clarification on what was put into the victim's coffee. I'd like to ask that the witness add what he knows about this to his testimony. I agree. Witness, will you enlighten us, please? Sure. There's no question about it. She was very, conspicuously put some white powder in there. Hold on, white powder's sugar.
What?
Did she really put that into the coffee? You doubt me, boy? You look some out of small brown bottle and sprinkled on it. Oh, she took. A
brown bottle?
She couldn't have been adding sugar. Couldn't she have been adding sugar? Sugar? In a small brown bottle like that? Like that? Witness, could you please describe the bottle in more concrete terms, please?
Yeah.
Huh. A bottle like this, perhaps? Oh, there it is. That's the one. That's the bottle of potassium cyanide, I presume. Huh. So what did the accused put into the coffee? I think it's clear, don't you?
Wow, this is a difficult case.
The man took one sip of it and, well, whoops. Okay. He took one sip? You youngins, you waste everything. Those Javacinos cost $8. In the good old days, we would have drank every last drop, eaten a cup, and then died. Congratulations, you have earned the title of battiest man to grace our courtroom. So it was an immediate death. Well, with potassium cyanide, I suppose that is possible. Oh yes, he slumped over without so much as a twitch. I felt the Javicino I just drank turn sour in my tummy. Oh yes, I know that feeling. And then the waitress, I presume she is... that's the serving girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. Hang on a second. You said I remember her well in reference to the waitress? Did she have any particular features that you can identify her by? Yeah, particular features? It's a disgrace, that's what it is. Sorry. You can see all the way up to her, you know. She's practically not wearing clothes in that uniform. What? So the particular feature you recognize about the waitress is her outfit? But anyone could wear just such a uniform, even me. Mr. Wright, please spare the court any further mental anguish from that image.
Oh my gosh. Don't get all excited, Nick. You've got to keep yourself together.
I guess I got a bit carried away. Yeah! There are other things I recognize about her, too. He seems pretty sure of himself. What should I do? Press harder.
Press harder and see what else he remembers.
Whoops! Zelda! Bad kitty. Sure, you saw a waitress take the... Are you positive you saw... You positive you saw a waitress take the coffee over to your victim? Victim! The person who died! But what matters is whether that waitress was Maggie Bird or not. Quite right. Mr. Kudo, these are other features that you recognize about the defendant. I would ask you to add them to your testimony, please. And yes, the chat you may facepalm. Sure.
I already did.
There was a ribbon in her hair, and her apron straps were loose. Wow.
What?
You do seem to remember several details about her appearance. But what about the most crucial detail of all? Her face. Yeah, as if I wouldn't remember that. The witness noticed the straps on the accused apron. He's unlikely to make a mistake about her face. That's right, I can't even tell. I can even tell the color of the ribbon in her hair. It was red.
Okay.
So you see, that's nothing wrong with the witness's eyesight.
Yeah, but what if he only saw her back?
True. There's no doubt he remembers the waitress pretty well. What should I do? I get the feeling there's something more to this somehow.
Why don't we ask about her back?
Okay.
I don't know.
The identifying features you described are all things you would see from the back.
Yeah, the bow in her hair is on the back of her.
So what? Is it possible that you never saw the waitress from the front at all?
Objection.
Wait, there's another waitress? Ha! He's got you there, Gramps.
Wait, there's more than one employee there?
I don't know. People normally talk about facial features when they're asked to describe someone. But this witness testimony is nothing but straps and ribbons. Yeah, this is harassment. I tell you, I'm not obsessed with straps or ribbons. I'm telling you what I saw. Yeah. Mr. Kudo, the court will request that you add details about any identifying features to your testimony. Features you observed from the front, that is to your testimony. Sure, whatever.
This old man's testimony is getting longer and longer.
And if I can't find a hole in it soon, I'll get even longer. It'll get even longer, I bet. I'll get, words today. There wasn't anything that caught my interest about her when I saw her from the front. Press that. You didn't find anything to be distinct, but you did clearly see the waitress's face, yes? No question about it. I didn't come this far to back down now. Victor Kudo never backs down. Ah! It's not the answer I was looking for, but okay.
Yeah. This has turned into a matter of pride for old Steenie now, I guess. I wonder if he really did see Maggie's face or not.
Like I thought, we need some concrete proof of this. Proof that the old guy didn't see the waitress clearly from the front.
Do you think old Steenie really saw Maggie do it, Nick?
Hang on. See things from the front. Well, I mean, that is a pretty clear... The apron's all messed up.
Yeah, her apron is pretty messed up there. That looks like my apron when I've been cooking.
That does, yeah. Okay. Well, he probably had his eye on the waitress the whole time. That's why he was there, after all.
But he was there for the cute outfits, right, Nick? Not the waitress.
I guess. She makes a good point, though.
I think he was there for the waitress and the cute outfits. Hey, did I just say something clever?
I wonder if the waitress Mr. Kudo saw really was Maggie. That's what we have to figure out. Oh, that's you.
That's what we have to figure out, Nick. It's like you read my mind.
Well, we are close. Okay.
Oh, how close are we, Nick?
I don't know. So I don't think it has anything to do with this newspaper.
Close enough to watch Steel Samurai after this case is over?
I don't know. Saw the white powder. Something about her front.
Okay.
In the defendant's chair, I remember her well. It's either...
Yeah, what about on the front? Why don't you... Wait, if he really remembers her from the front, then when he... Where's the statement he talks about the front? Present the apron, then.
Okay. Let's do that. And present.
Yeah!
Bingo. Mr. Kudo, I would like you to please take a look at this. Yeah, that filthy thing would suit filth like you just perfectly. Actually, it reminds me of my grandson looks like just after he's done eating. Have you ever seen this before? Of course I haven't. You think I'd forget something as dirty as that?
Oh, he didn't see her from the front? Oh, snap.
Well, you half-witted clot. Huh.
Did he just call us a clot?
I'm shoddy what? What? What is it? Ever since I said you half-witted clot, there's been an eerie silence in here? Mr. Kudo, this apron... Words!
This apron!
This apron worn by the defendant on the day of the poison... No. This apron worn by the defendant on the day of the poisoning... That's right. And as you just said yourself, you wouldn't forget something like this. Which means if you had really seen this apron before, Yes, you know where I'm getting at. You couldn't have possibly seen the waitress from the front!
Oh!
Oops!
Well, I guess case closed.
Witness! You can't just say oops your way out of this! Huh. Well, well. Looks like we finally have a genuine trial on our hands. Ha!
Okay.
Gulp, 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 gulp,
I
gulp.
feel like it's a coffee eating contest.
Man. Listen, Trite, here are the facts. On the day of the incident, there was only one waitress in the restaurant that we know of. That being the defendant, Miss Maggie Bird. Bird! Exactly, Your Honor, Bird. And when that one waitress put the poison into the coffee cup, I've been up for like so many hours,
Luke
guys.
hasn't slept because he had to be on stuff.
I had an important phone call. This old guy was watching. I hope you understand the gravity of the situation, Mr. Kudo. The fate of the defendant may rest on what you say you remember seeing. Just tell the court exactly what you saw, Gramps. Yeah, you can rely on me, Captain. My noggin's in perfect working order. I can't remember a single occasion when I forgot a burger a customer wanted.
He can't remember. Probably more like he messed up so many times he's blocking it out.
Very well, let's just test how good your memory and attention to details is, Mr. Kudo. I keep thinking of Cujo for some reason, which is weird. No relevance to anything, it's just the wording of the name.
I don't know what Cujo is.
I'm very glad, and don't tell her, chat. Tell us what you remember about the victim.
What?
It's a horror movie from the 80s or 70s. He was another of those pesky young types wearing a broken pair of spectacles. He had a newspaper in his right hand, and the noisy brat kept rustling its pages. The young man was listening to the wireless. I remember that well. And when the serving girl in question brought over the Javachino, the little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip. Okay.
Okay.
The testimony we have just heard was to test how credible the witness' memory is. It seems to me that he remembers the victim in great detail. Oh yes, I hate those you-know-what types who are so vague about everything.
How are we gonna handle this, Nick?
We only need to do one thing. We just need to prove that the old man's memory is shot.
Just trip him up, you mean? Isn't that kind of cruel, though?
I suppose, but it's what we do best.
We're lawyers and proud of it.
Lawyers aren't nice people. What?
Or they're nice people who have to do mean things.
He was another one of those pesky young types. Hold it!
Hold it!
Spectacles. Dark glasses to you. One of these lenses were green and the other was broken. Newfangled rubbish, that's why I remember him so well. He did have some kind of lens over his left eye. Scouter. But I wouldn't have called it a pair of glasses.
He's from Planet.
He seems to have been wearing some rather modern-looking shades.
Or from not of this world.
Perhaps I should take to wearing some and rival Mr. Godot's sharp appearance.
We better come up with something sharp and quick!
I guess I'll wait and see if I should challenge him about the spectacles.
Oh my god.
He had a newspaper in his right hand. Yeah? Then the newspaper was a sports paper, was it? Ah, you young hooligans! I nearly asked him, can't you even read without fidgeting? How was I supposed to be able to read the back page with all that rustling going on?
Oh my gosh.
I need to find out if Gustin Braun retained his championship.
Why didn't you just borrow the paper?
It was his paper, not yours. If you want to know so badly, why didn't you buy one your own?
I know.
Buy one yourself. What are you looking at me for? Ow! Ow! Stop throwing bird seeds!
Gustin Braun got beaten yesterday, by the way. Anyway.
Ah, the young man was listening to wireless. How do you know it was wireless? The wireless? Yeah, the decadent young rascal. In my day, it was one or the other. Read the paper or listen to the wireless. Oh boy, I don't think they had the wireless back in your day.
Yeah, I know.
And using an earpiece, it's selfish, that's what it is. I was straining my ears, but couldn't catch any of it. Was he that desperate to listen to the radio? What are you looking at me like that for? How dare you? Feel sorry for— Stop with the seeds! Then the serving girl in question brought over the Javachino. Okay.
Hold it!
You mean the waitress, who you only saw from behind, right? Phoenix, stop correcting people. You're one of those, are you? Never let anything go, isn't that right?
He's a lawyer.
Maybe. Well, I am a lawyer. What does it matter if I saw her from the front or from the behind? No! Better not push it until I have some hard evidence. I can't take this beating of bird seeds.
I know, you're gonna get pelted in the face.
That little fidget picked up his cup with his free hand and took a sip.
Oh, right.
His free hand? Yes. Which hand was that? Weren't you listening before? Cloth ears? I said he was rustling the newspaper with his right hand, didn't I?
Sorry.
It's okay. If his free hand was— Oh! Huh. This is amusing. Perhaps the great Mr. Trite has 3 hands. Delicious. Yeesh! I was only asking. No need to gang up on me and treat me like a freak. The whole point of this cross-examination is to establish just one thing. That this old man's memory has more holes than a slice of Swiss cheese.
I guess we need to find a contradiction in his testimony somewhere. Honik!
Anything will do, even the smallest detail. We just need one mistake and he's ours. Let's look at the court record.
All right.
I mean, we can present the coffee cup. We can do maybe the plate of food. You know what?
Okay.
He saw the coffee cup, so we're gonna do the coffee cup.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
He was one of those pesky young types. Nobody cares. He had a newspaper. Yep, that's not relevant.
oh, actually it is. It says his newspaper was in his right hand, which means he had to have picked the cup up by his left hand, according to this testimony.
It's gotta be the coffee cup. Boom. Mr. Kudo, do you remember what you were told at the start of this testimony? That this was a way of testing the credibility of your memory? I know. There's nothing wrong with my memory. I tell you nothing. If I got anything wrong, I'll eat these seeds and sing a pigeon song.
Okay.
Care to tell us where this is going, Trite? Okay, according to Mr. Kudo, the victim was holding the paper in his right hand, while drinking coffee with his free hand, which would make it his left. Ah, what is this, kindergarten? But I would like the court to please take a look at this. That's the cup the victim used, correct? Yes, Your Honor, and on the rim you'll notice the mark left by the victim's lips. Yes, there is a stain left by the coffee. If you consider where that stain is, you'll clearly see that the victim was holding the cup in his right hand.
Whoa!
But how? Well, Mr. Kudo, the court is waiting for your epic performance. You said you'd eat those seeds and sing the pigeon song! Yeah!
Oh my gosh.
Mr. Kudo, I'm afraid this is simply not acceptable.
He needs to sing the song now!
I think... Wait!
What?
If you think I'm gonna stand here and listen to you tell me I'm mad, you're wrong! I don't care about that dirty coffee cup, I know what I saw. You're still insisting on your testimony? That young brat was holding the cup in his left hand! Oh yes, no question, I'm good. Law-abiding citizen I am. It's that dead young hot bot, and you spiky-haired yahoo are at fault. Who, me? Thank you, old man. We've heard quite enough from you already. Don't call me old man, old man. Been around for 68 years, I have. You can't ignore me. Listen to what I've got to say.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but... Sure, why not hear a little more? Mr. Kudo! Delicious. But this is my 16th cup of coffee.
Oh my god.
So this is the final stand.
You're only supposed to drink like 3.
Thank you, Captain. You can rely on old Victor.
You shouldn't drink that much coffee in a day. That's really bad for you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. You should drink like 3 or 4 cups at the most. Like, oh my gosh.
The boy was wearing the earpiece the same side as the green lens on his specs. He kept fiddling with all that time, and it was annoying. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the coffee, too. And then he used the same hand to pick up the coffee, his left. Okay.
Okay, I don't even understand where this is going.
We know that the victim was wearing an unusual monocle over his left eye. It wasn't a monocle, Your Honor. It was a small computer monitor often used by programmers.
I have never seen a programmer use
A
that.
monitor that looked like a scanner from Dragon Ball Z. The inside of the lens is a screen that displays computer data. It's called an HMD. It's a common tool in the victim's line of work. What? Traveling to other planets?
I disagree.
HDTV, DVD, CD, all these newfangled letters drive me mad. But they don't matter.
I have seen people with Bluetooth, but
Yeah.
I've never seen someone walk around like that.
I know. I can't wait because then I'm going to say, what does that say about the coffee's power level?
Yeah.
See what they do. I knew what I saw, and I'm telling the truth. Dang nabbit. It's true. He doesn't seem to be lying. And those are the facts in good old black and white. Okay. So we'll just press him on everything, I guess. Oh, my goodness.
All right, well.
Yeah, the boy was wearing his earpiece. Hold it. So the victim was wearing an HMD? Yeah, whatever it does. What does it matter? It's none of them, actually, but anyway. And you're sure that he was wearing the earpiece on the same side? No question. I could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting. Yeah, that's pretty obvious if you look at the floor plans.
Yeah.
From the opposite table, he'd only have a view of the side of the victim's head. But he would also be able to see if there was someone else sitting there. He kept fidgeting it with it all the time. It was wicked annoying. Okay.
Sorry, I'm a fidgeter too.
Yes, you are. It seems you kept an eye on Mr. Glenn then. Yeah, he was getting on my nerves. Rustling that newspaper and fiddling with his earpiece all the time. And then he went up and made all that fuss dying from one sip of Jamachino. I wanted to say to him, calm down, you young brat. Just looking at him made me suddenly speed up my seed eating. I could have choked. So I take it the victim was walking ball of nervous energy. Okay.
Yep,
He was
apparently.
fiddling before he picked up his coffee. Okay. The earpiece you mentioned, which had the victim touch it. Which hand did the victim touch it with? You're one of those people, aren't you? You're the type that uses your left hand to get things out of your right pocket.
Huh?
Or fastens your left cuff with your right hand. And when your tour guide says on your right side, you'll see the famous blah, blah, blah. You're the one who deliberately looks left. Well, I am dyslexic, but... no, I didn't mean... Obviously, he used the hand, the same one of his body that the earpiece was on. Yo! So if he had the HMD on his left side, then it was his left hand, I guess.
I guess.
And then he used the same hand to pick up the coffee, his left hand. Okay. You seem very sure of yourself, Mr. Kudo. That's because I know what I saw, no matter what tricks you try to play on me. Okay. It looks like he really did see the guy picking up the cup with his left hand, I suppose. This is a dead end.
But how was the stain? How is the coffee cup thing look like it was by his right hand? Doesn't make any sense. Well, Nick, what do you think?
I think the guy's telling the truth.
What?
But even so, something's not quite right.
Then chuck evidence at him until he breaks, Nick!
But if he's not lying, there wouldn't be any contradictions. The boy was wearing his earpiece on the same side as the lens of his specs. Okay. Well,
Alright, why don't you...
Fiddling at the time. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up his coffee. What was he fiddling with, the newspaper? Use the same hand to pick up the coffee with. And now Maya just went back. I think the guy is telling the truth, more or less.
Huh?
But even so, something's not quite right here.
Then chuck evidence at him until he breaks!
But if he's not lying, there wouldn't be any contradictions. The only thing I can think of is when he's talking about all the fidgeting that person's doing that is annoying him, fiddling with it all the time. Maybe he means his ear?
Maybe he couldn't hear. Or maybe
the
it
victim
wasn't
got this
working.
from the doctor before going to Tresbien, the empty bag.
Or, yeah, maybe he couldn't see.
Bingo. I'm not sure what the relevance of this is, but hopefully it's right. Mr. Kudo, there is something very strange about your observations of the victim. Yeah, what? You say he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the HMD? No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. I could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting. Oh, you've just buried yourself. I don't think so. What? What did you say? You're no doubt unaware of the fact, Mr. Kudo, but the victim couldn't hear with his left ear. His eardrum had been ruptured.
Whoa!
Eh?
How could he hear out of it then?
Traces of medication for his condition were found in his ear canal.
Whoa.
That's right. It's impossible the victim was wearing his earpiece on his left ear. Because he couldn't even hear in that ear.
Whoa!
Is that true, Captain? It is.
Good job, Nick.
Pigeon! Pretty pigeon!
Oh my god.
Pigeon! Order! There's no time for serenading about pigeons! This witness testimony is completely unreliable, Your Honor.
Yeah!
He only saw the waitress from behind. And he claims the victim was wearing an earpiece when he knew his eardrum was ruptured. Well, Mr. Godot?
Good job,
A
Phoenix.
single drop of milk is all it takes to destroy the pure black magic in the cup. This old man is my drop of milk. Captain, are you calling me a drip? This is the victim's coffee cup in which the potassium cyanide was found. The mark on the rim clearly shows that the victim picked it up with his right hand.
Yep.
I never back down. I know I'm right. Lad drank his Javachino with his left hand. Let me put you out of your misery. Clearly, the victim used both hands. He took a sip with the cup held in his right, and then switched to his left. That's what the old man saw. No, that doesn't work.
What? Why would he switch it?
Impossible. The witness has already testified on numerous occasions that the victim died immediately after taking just one sip of coffee. Which hand the victim used to pick up the coffee is irrelevant, Your Honor. The facts still stand with one hand or the other. Mr. Elg drank the poisoned coffee like this.
I doubt he would have done that.
Sadly, Mr. Godot, that doesn't wash. The point of his testimony was to establish whether the witness' memory is credible or not. And the results are clear. The testimony given by this witness is useless.
Oh my gosh. You go, Phoenix.
I believe it is time to conclude today's proceedings. I am satisfied that the witness is not deceiving the court. But to be frank, his testimony is a farce. Did you have to be so frank? Take that, you pompous old fudgy. I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, you can't reach me from here. Ha 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 ha. I'm ordering the defense and the prosecution to investigate this case further. That is all for now. This court is adjourned. Well, that was easy.
What?
Wait! Oh, dang it.
Phoenix?
If we stop now, where does that leave me? Leave you, Mr. Kudo? Thanks to that blue-suited young upstart over there, I'm just a babbling old man when I can't even dot his T's or cross his I's now. How is your bad memory my fault? I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but there's nothing I can do. I've kept my mouth shut until then, but there's something else the court should know. What? There's more? To be perfectly honest, it might not be anything, but I want another chance. I want another crack at you, you young shark. Me? He's looking at me and saying I'm an evil shogun? That had to be a Japanese joke. Well, everyone, what do you have to say? One final showdown.
It could be a Japanese.
The final chapter in this eccentric old man's scrapbook. Sorry, Gramps. I've already had my 17th cup of coffee.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you've got to lose, Captain. I'll give you all the Javachino you want if you come to my house after the trial. I may be 68 years old, but Victor Kudo is still a man. That makes no sense. That's enough, witness. I believe it will be quicker for the court to just hear your testimony. You bet it will, Munch Crunch.
I can't believe this is even happening, Nick.
You better get ready, youngster. I get the picture. Just quit throwing those seeds at me, would you? He's got to be using some sort of infinite ammo code on that box of seeds.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he could have a code on it. I don't know.
Final showdown.
Well, this is...
First of all, I want to stress that this might be nothing, and I'm not sure of it myself. The young man slumped over the table as soon as he took one sip of his Javachino. Well, the clumsy idiot upset the vase he knocked over right in front of him. It broke, and the strip of cloth covering the table got completely soaked. Well, how about that? Turn things upside down? Okay.
Turning things upside down.
Is that all? Yes, that's all. I remember it perfectly. Yeah, you're doubting me again, you doubting poor defenseless old man? No, we're not doubting you, Mr. Kudo.
Don't you get the feeling there's a question hanging on everyone's lips, Nick?
Yeah. So what? Probably. That's
sorry.
me. That's all I can think of, and I have to cross-examine this guy? You're a bird brain, that's why that's all you can think of. Okay. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your final cross-examination, please. I don't think there's really anything interesting about his first two statements.
Oh, yeah, probably not.
First of all, I want to stress that thing might be nothing, but yeah, I don't think that's important. Young boy slumped over the table as soon as he took a sip. This is the first time that I've heard about this clumsy idiot knocking something over.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right.
That's pretty weird. Why don't you...
I'm gonna press him on it. A vase, you say? Yes, there are vases on all the tables in that place. There are accidents waiting to happen. They're practically begging to be knocked over.
Oh my god.
Well, he's right about there being vases. I do remember seeing them too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everywhere.
There was a vase on the table when I ate lunch there. And you saw the moment when the victim actually knocked over the vase. Well, it's hard to say. It's a bit unclear. How do you really define... Okay, I get it. I heard it break, and the sight of it's burned into my memory as clear as day. Yeah, but no.
Okay,
No.
Well, why don't we present the crime photo if it contradicts what
That's what I was thinking, because I just saw the vase was actually not broken. It's right there.
It's... Oh my gosh! The photo shows that it wasn't broken!
You're done, old man. Thanks for playing. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Mr. Kudo, this is a photograph of the crime scene. Yes, so what of it?
It contradicts your testimony.
That's right. Look carefully at the table, sir. The vase is there, intact. Huh? Lost your tongue, Granddad? I'm not your granddad. Enough!
Oh my gosh.
If you throw any more seeds in this courtroom, the cleaners will be here all night!
Oh my gosh, the judge is mad.
I'm sorry, what is it now? I just remembered something.
What? What do you mean just remembered something?
Yes, go on.
What?
The broken vase, it was on my table. What? Well, you see...
What?
It startled me when that young man collapsed, so I stood up. That must have been when it fell over. The vase on my table, I mean.
Wow.
The vase on your table? Aha! Yes, it was on my table. And that's how my groin came to be completely soaked. Okay. Oh, please get this guy off the stand. Yeah, of course Godot is laughing. Can we please get rid of him now? Thank you, Mr. Kudo. You've certainly earned your kudos for today. Yeah, I'd like to ask a question now. Have I been any use at all? Perhaps that is something you should reflect on yourself, Mr. Kudo. Yeah. Wait a minute. If that's the case, there's more. I've got one more thing to say. Oh yes, I remember something else. Bailiff, escort this crazy witness out of my courtroom.
Oh.
Wait, listen to me. Oh, thank God.
Wow.
Well, we seem to have been considerably sidetracked today, and I'm still not in any position to deliver a new verdict. Haha. The defendant has not been positively identified as the waitress in question. Additionally, there are two disparities in the testimony we have heard thus far. The mark on the coffee cup that the victim supposedly drank from with his left hand, and the earpiece, which was inserted into his left ear, out of which he couldn't hear.
Whoa. Wow, Nick, you did it!
I therefore require that both the defense and the prosecution to further investigate the facts. Yes, Your Honor, I'd be happy to.
Wow.
There's one more thing before I call today's session to an end. Oh, one more thing, Your Honor.
What?
The witness we just heard from, he is most incessant that his testimony should be of use. So he summarized it according into the statement. Okay. You may have a copy of it if you wish.
Okay.
Whatever. The prosecution doesn't need props like that.
Godot's really mad, huh?
Yeah, I would be too. Very well.
I know.
Here you are then, Mr. Wright. There are 3 copies, my own, yours, and Mr. Godot's. Yes, Your Honor. Victor's testimony added to the court record. Hooray.
Yay.
I'm sorry, this isn't a piece of testimony, more like a 5-year-old apology.
What in the heck are we supposed to do with 3 copies, Nick?
That is all. This court is adjourned and I need to go for a walk. Clear my head from all this craziness.
Yeah, I know.
To be continued.
Yay!
Oh my gosh.
Well written, Capcom.
Oh, that was interesting and a waste of time. So anyway, guys and gals, that does it for today's Ace Attorney. Thank you so much for watching. Join us tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as the investigation continues in the Turnabout recipe episode. We hope you guys had a lot of fun. Check out some other cool videos going up on KwingsLetsPlays and live streams tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until we meet again, God bless and happy gaming.